What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another new Comic Book Day Top 10 list. Today I'm going to be ranking and reviewing all the books I picked up this week for October 26, 2022's new Comic Book Day. I picked up 11 total issues, so you know what that means. One of them did not make this week's Top 10 list, and I'm very excited to talk about these books with you guys. I grabbed books from Marvel, Image Comics, Boom Studios, and AWA Upshot. Strange Academy is finally back with a brand new volume. Moon Knight just released their annual, and there's a lot of other new ones that I'm going to be discussing today, so let's jump right into it. Oh, and as always, everyone, as I begin to talk about these books, just be aware there's definitely going to be spoilers, but I put a little spoiler tag down below in the corner to give you a heads up that a spoiler is about to happen. So jumping straight into it, this is the one and only book that did not make this week's top 10 list, but we've got Image's brand new one, Lovesick, issue number 1. This is one of the variant covers. I'm not going to be getting too in-depth with this one, and I'm not going to be putting pictures up on the screen like I usually do. If you read Fantagraphics books, Red Room, this is basically Image Comics' version of that. This one is in color. It's not black and white like Red Room is, but it's the same exact concept. Very gruesome, very graphic, just a lot of torturing, and I'm pretty much just going to leave it at that because, you know, there's a lot of different ages that watch these videos. So take that for what it is if you are interested in this one. And like I said, it's pretty much exactly like Red Room, just a Image Comics colorized version of it. But now let's jump right into the top 10 list. And here we go, everyone, kicking this top 10 list off first. We've got coming in at number 10. This is AWA's New Think, issue number 5. This is cover B for it. And for those of you who are interested, this is also the 5th and final issue of the series. But in my opinion, I feel like this series is an absolute miss. I really didn't like it at all. The artwork wasn't bad. It was different throughout all of the issues. The first issue was pretty solid. I think it was the 3rd or 4th one that was pretty good. This 5th and final issue, it had a good concept to it. It had a pretty good feel-good ending. But overall, it's definitely skippable. So I'm not going to be getting in depth with any of the other issues. Go check out some of those other reviews. But as far as this 5th issue goes, we see our main character on the front. She's sitting down with all these kids, and she's basically telling them in front of all of their parents that you can't conform to how other people think in this world. You can't just follow their politics and their beliefs, and that everybody is made differently. And I thought that was a really interesting concept, and it's something that a lot of people need to really grasp in this day and age, that everybody is different. Everybody has different beliefs and ideas. And I did really enjoy that, but as far as a comic book goes, that's not really why I'm picking up these books. Just my opinion. We can talk about it more down below, but for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 10 this week. This is AWA's New Think, issue number 5. Next up this week at number 9, we've got Image's Creepshow, issue number 2. This is cover B. I went into this one with really high expectations. If you haven't been following my channel for a while, I'm a huge horror fan, so pretty much any horror comic, I'm going to pick it up, and for the most part, I usually enjoy it. The first issue, if you didn't grab it, it's a horror anthology series, and it's split into 2 separate short stories. And honestly, I thought they were both really well done. I felt very satisfied when I was done reading them both. I liked the artwork. So I went into this one hoping for the best. I was hoping it was going to be better than the first issue. But when I was done reading it, I don't know. Both stories were really lacking. They weren't bad, but at the same time, they weren't really good either. I'm not going to be getting in depth with either of them. But this issue is set up the exact same way. 2 short stories. But with the first issue, it's about a girl. She's kind of scared to go outside. And this tree, it's not really possessing her, but this tree is telling her to do evil things. That's the first one. And the second issue is about an older gentleman. He wrote comics and did comic stuff when he was younger. And he most likely has dementia, but he's got an in-house nurse, and a lot of weird stuff happens from there. Like I said, an all-right issue. I'm still going to continue on with it, but for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 9 this week. This is Image's Creepshow, issue number 2. Next up on my list this week, we've got coming in at number 8. This is Marvel's Venom, issue number 12. This is cover A. I'll tell you what, everybody, I thought issue number 11 was going to be the last Venom issue that I review on this channel, but a lot of you convinced me otherwise. You said, at least pick up issue number 12, finish out the arc, go from there. And I thought, you know, the arc started off pretty strong, and I am pretty interested to see what happens to Dylan. And this issue at first didn't let me down at all. It starts off strong. It picks up exactly where the last one left off. We've got Dylan. He's fighting the memories of his father, Eddie Brock. He's trying to make it up to Tower and just figure out pretty much who he is and all the answers to everything that he's been wondering all of these years. The other side of the story, everything with Sleeper and just what's going on with Dylan's actual body. I don't particularly care about that, but I know it's important to the story, so it is what it is. However, some spoilers are about to happen. That whole massive reveal at the very end kind of made me roll my eyes, and I was like, no, they're really bringing this character back. I mean, if you're a Donny Cates fan, you're probably really going to enjoy it. But to me, my opinion, we've got the Immortal Hulk, and I know we have our other Venom series that Donny Cates was on, and they kind of just swapped. Al Ewing went to Venom, and then Donny Cates went to Hulk. They didn't continue on with the Immortal Hulk story, and that was fantastic. And in my opinion, right now, Donny Cates is ruining Hulk. It's just not a good story at all, outside of just the fighting and the artwork. The story is just severely lacking. But now we've got a new Venom run, and it's basically a continuation off of Donny Cates's. Why couldn't we have it on the other side with the Immortal Hulk? Just my opinion on all of that, just me rambling about stuff. But overall, this Venom series, I wish they wouldn't have brought that character in it at the very end. I want to hear your opinions, but for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 8 this week, we have Marvel's Venom issue number 12. Next up this week, we've got coming in at number 7. This is Boom Studios' brand new one. We've got Damn Them All, issue number 1. This is cover A. I don't know if it's just me, but this first issue felt like a very long read. It was a little bit more on the boring side, but in their defense, they were doing a ton of just plot and character development. They did a really good job with that. It just happened to be really slow, in my opinion. But we learn about our main character, her background story, her upbringing, her uncle, all the other relatives and people that her uncle was in close contact with, why she got interested in magic in the first place, and just pretty much who she is today. Everything that led her up to this moment. Not a bad story by any means. I'm definitely going to be continuing on with it, but that's pretty much what this entire series is going to be about. A lot of them deal with magic. They're kind of not in a cult, but they do just rituals and stuff like that. We didn't learn about the main plot point more towards the end of the first issue. And with that being said, we learned there's something wrong in just the spiritual world. There's something wrong with, I don't want to call them demons, but just those spirits. And she needs to figure it out. Not bad. I'm going to continue on with it. But like I said, you're kind of in for a long one. It was definitely a little bit slower of a read. But for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 7 this week. This is Boom Studios' brand new one, Damn Them All, issue number 1. Next up this week, we've got coming in at number 6. This is AWA's Absolution, issue number 4. This is cover A. This 4th issue was a straight setup for that 5th and final issue, and I am so pumped for it. Now, while I am really excited for it, I will admit, though, this 4th issue is pretty much like the first 3. We see our main character, Nina, and she's still trying to get her Absolution score up, and if you've been reading this series, you know how she does it. She's an assassin. She's killing all these different people, all different ways. She's trying to get approval from her followers. We see kind of the talk show side of stuff, so we see a lot of different perspectives just still on Nina. The whole focus is on her. She's trying to save herself, but at the same time, she gets one of her followers, and this follower is trying to help her out. And man, I'll tell you what, there's a sweet plot twist, and you guys need to read this one for yourself. Let's talk about it more down below, but for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 6 this week, we have Absolution, issue number 4. And here we go, everyone. We are down to the top 5 issues of the week. So coming in at number 5 this week, this is Marvel's Moon Knight, issue number 1. This is the annual for the series. I was a little hesitant to pick this one up because honestly, I'm not a big fan of the current ongoing Moon Knight series. I really don't think it's all that good. I've been debating on dropping it for a little while now, but I thought to myself, you know what? I didn't drop it just yet. This annual's featuring the Werewolf by Night. Why not give it a shot? And I liked it so much more than I thought I was going to. The artwork was solid. I'm not sure if it's the same artist on the ongoing Moon Knight series, but it's pretty much on par with that. But the story was so good. I wish they would make this story right now into the ongoing. We needed more of this story right here. So we've got Moon Knight. Hunter's Moon is featured in this one. Obviously, the Werewolf by Night. But what happens is, so some spoilers are going to be coming. We've got Jack Russell, and he kidnaps Moon Knight's daughter. And everything happens from there. They obviously have to get the daughter back, but there's prophecies and so much other stuff that happens. A lot of twists and turns. Like I said, overall, a very solid annual. I wish they would put this in the ongoing stuff. So for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 5 this week. This is Marvel's Moon Knight, issue number 1. This is the annual. Next up this week, we've got coming in at number 4. This is Boom Studios' Stuff of Nightmares, issue number 2. This is the FOC reveal variant. This is such a fun read. I grew up being an R.L. Stine fan. I read all the Goosebumps stuff, so this just brings back so many memories for me. It's a very good one right now. Artwork is solid, but the storytelling is top-notch. R.L. Stine did not lose it at all. But with this one, it picks up where the last one left off. We've got our main characters. They are on the run. If you can recall, they burned down their old lab. All of the mongrels, they didn't die, though. They all escaped their ravages. They are killing people. So that's a whole plot line of itself. But it kind of focuses on our main characters in this one. They're retrying to start their lab up. They're trying to get everything back together, all of the materials and equipment they needed to just recreate life again. Such a fun, just creepy horror Halloween story. I love it. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 4 this week, we've got Boom Studios' Stuff of Nightmares, issue number 2. Now we've got coming in at number 3, this is Boom Studios' House of Slaughter, issue number 10. This is cover B. This issue didn't exactly go the way I thought it was, but it was still extremely excellent in its own way. So if you can recall from the last issue, we were kind of gearing up for this massive fight between Edwin and this sea monster. But things didn't go exactly like that. Instead, the issue starts off with a bunch of kids sitting around a campfire, and they're all telling stories. And one kid decides to tell a story of Edwin fighting this monster. So obviously, some time has passed since the big fight. So the story is being told told from their perspective, but we do get to see Edwin fighting this monster here and there. Then we flash forward to Edwin, and he's with the House of Slaughter, and they're just trying to figure out what to do next. But we did get left on a very awesome cliffhanger too, because obviously if you can recall those kids from the beginning of the issue, they're telling stories of what happens in the world of something is killing the children. Those stories lead to other monsters. Very fun read. Check it out. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 3 this week, we've got Boom Studios, House of Slaughter, issue number 10. Next up this week, we've got coming in at number 2. This is Images, Firepower, issue number 24. This is cover B, and this is also the end of the arc for those of you reading this one, and everything has led to this moment. The first volume, this entire second volume has been building up to this fight right now. It was fantastic. We saw so much destruction and carnage. Owen is finally using the firepower to take down the other group's leader and the dragon. But man, I don't want to spoil anything else for you guys because like I said, 24 issues deep and everything has led to this moment. I am so excited for the rest of this series now. Let's talk about it more down below. But for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 2 this week. This is Images, Firepower, issue number 24. And this is it, everyone. My top read of the week. We've got coming in at number 1. This is Marvel's Strange Academy Finals, issue number 1. This is cover A. Strange Academy is finally back, and I couldn't be happier about it. This is definitely my favorite ongoing series from Marvel. And I'll tell you what, everybody, this is honestly one of my favorite ongoing series amongst all the different publishers. This one never lets me down. I love the storytelling. I love the artwork. I love all the characters too. I feel so invested in just everybody. But I will give you a heads up. Just because this says number 1 on it, do not be fooled by Marvel's numbering system. This is not a new series. This is not a good jumping on point, but I will at least give them props because they do have a little story in the beginning that kind of gives a background on what led to this moment. They actually went into pretty solid detail too, so you will have a base understanding, but just the details behind everything and just the motives behind stuff, you're going to be extremely lost. But man, we've got everybody in this one. We've got Emily, everything that she's up to, just the Academy, Calvin. I don't want to spoil anything. We've all been waiting so long for this one. Let's talk about more down below, but seriously, this issue was fantastic. I'm so happy it's back. You got to try to find the back issues, at least a trade paperback for it. And for those reasons, we've got coming in absolutely taking the crown at number 1 this week. We've got Marvel's Strange Academy Finals, issue number 1. And that's a wrap on this week's top 10 list of books, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to comment down below what your top read of the week was and which books you think I missed out on. And thanks for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you want to miss out on any of my upcoming videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and the little bell so you can stay up to date on all of my latest content. You won't regret it. And I've got 2 more sitting off to the side here with more of my comic book content. Click on one of those and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.